Lord's heartbeat for our world today. I know for some of us, David needs no introduction, especially since he spoke last year, but not all of you were there. But because he deserves an introduction, humor me for a few moments. As a high schooler, David and his friends founded the Video Editing Club, which later became the only UC-approved digital media class offered in his high school. He majored in film with an emphasis in editing at USCSD, and after graduating, worked as a director and instructor for media, ceramics, drama, dance, and other performing arts. Since then, he has also served as a full-time missionary to Georgia and 6 other countries as well over the last 10 years. And he just got back from Korea last night, and he is probably very jet lagged, so we're grateful to have you here. David's also a graduate student at Talbot, and he's passionate about how God, he just graduated. He just graduated. I'm sorry, I messed that up. He just graduated. So he's also been a really great friend to me. He's been a longtime friend of our ministry. He even served 2 years on staff alongside us, coaching students. Even after his time on staff, he's continued to be involved. He volunteered his time to coach students at a high school in Hacienda Heights. And more recently, he's even become a valuable source of feedback for me in my video project. So without further ado, David Kim.
That is a far more generous introduction than I deserve. So thank you so much, Robert. I am a very excitable person, if you can't tell, but I am so excited to be here. I feel like I am speaking to, honestly, I really feel like I'm speaking to industry leaders. Now, it might seem like you guys aren't industry leaders when you look, but we all are in a sense. We all have a distinct part in shaping the narrative of our society, of our times. Because, this is my first point, we're all artists, whether we like it or not. We all create. It's not just because, you're in the marketing team and so you become an artist, right? We all are artists because God is an artist and we are made in God's image. This kind of transcends kind of position that we hold. We are not just mere cogs in this machine that God has made and it runs. God has imbued us with personality, with individuality, with creativity, with something that the ancients called the divine spark. That we can come up with something original, because that's what God does. And we share in that. And so, this isn't just like, hey, let's be great marketing people. And right? I'm not like forcing this narrative on you. Rather, marketing team, your participation in it is an outflow of what God has already given you. And that has to be clear first, right? We're not here to like artificially make ourselves marketers or artists because that's my job description. And then one day I quit and then I don't have to do this anymore, right? This facet of life, of looking at the world that God has made, seeing his creative efforts and us joining in, this is part of your Christian life. And now we have a very special way of doing that and this privileged role that we get to do it. But I just want to make clear just from this onset that this isn't an artificial thing. This is actually a part of who God has called you to be. Now I'm super excited because we are a marketing team, so we get to do that better and more professionally and more devotedly. That is exciting to me. But yeah, that isn't just artificial. Cool? So I just want to get that out of the way first. Okay, this will be relevant to you whether if you never, become a marketer, if you leave next week, if you never touch, I don't know what we use these days, Illustrator again or whatnot. This is relevant to you because you are all artists, we're all creators, because God is an artist and God is a creator and we're made in his image. Coolio? Cool. That being said, I'm gonna rehash a little bit of kind of the general framework that we're gonna be working on, especially in the world of art. And then I kind of break down a little bit of church history, a little bit of some of, I guess I want to give you a big picture framework where you can kind of insert yourselves into, and then hopefully I have the time to go a bit more practical into where do we go, you know. But a big part of my heart is I want us to have the correct why. I don't want us to just be better artists and better marketers just because we should be. But there is a deep why we have to do this and we have to do it well. Okay? So, first reason. Art teaches. Okay? I'll look here. Has any of us read Ezekiel? It's a fantastic, challenging book. Like, you guys know, like, well, I'm not gonna do a sermon here, but God shows up and goes, hey, I want you to lay on your side for like basically a year and cook food over doo-doo, okay? And I want you to make a little miniature of the city of Jerusalem, and I want you to take a sword, and there's this giant performing art piece that happens, right? And why is he doing that? Why is God telling him to do this?
To communicate.
Yes. What is he trying to communicate?
What's about to happen.
Yes. And now God has done this. God has straight up said, y'all's bad times are coming. But why is God suddenly telling Ezekiel to do this entire performance piece, this drama piece? Because they don't get it. You know what I'm saying? God is trying to teach these people. You guys don't understand how close you are to absolute destruction. Like, it is this close. And you guys aren't understanding that this destruction will not be anything close to what you imagine. It's going to be utterly devastating. But you don't understand. So I'm going to get my people to put on a play for you. Okay. You know Hosea? Hosea, I want you to marry this girl. Because my people don't get how bad it is that they're treating me. They don't get the depth of anger that I have right now, and the hurt and the betrayal and the brokenness I'm going through. So show it to them through art, because they aren't getting it. There's like 200 examples, right? So I stopped with those two. But there is a special way that art teaches that bypasses just language. Okay, I'll give you one more just because it's fun. Okay? One of my favorite scenes, Old Testament, right? Exodus, God lays out, okay, I want you to build a table of pure gold. Like, not like inlaid with gold. Like, I want you to make gold and then plate it with gold on top of that. Okay? And every morning, I want you to get the finest flour y'all's ever made and make bread. And put it here. It's the showbread. What is he trying to teach you? That, yes, God is bread. Good. God is... That theme actually runs throughout the whole Old Testament into the New Testament. Who is the real bread? We get it, right? But God could have just said, just write a little thing that says, God is my bread. But he doesn't. He says, go through the trouble of making it every morning. Bake it fresh. Like smell it, you know what I'm saying? Like touch it, smell it, taste it. This is what I am to you. If we are serious about teaching both the people who know Christ and the people who do not, the deep things of God, we have to consider art. If we could just tell them and it worked, well, we wouldn't be here, right? I think this is super underappreciated. Every time I teach or teach like Bible study, or even teach teachers of Bible study, and I ask them to come up with lesson plans, they always come back to me with bullet points of like, this is point 1, this is point 2, they're all sub points. I'm gonna teach this week 2, week 3, and I go, yes, but how? You know, ChatGPT could pull this out in 2 minutes. I mean, yes, good. I'm glad you have read through the book. I want you to teach them, and you have good. But how? That's the problem. How? Are you just gonna read them these bullet points? And they're like, maybe. Why are we here? You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's our job. That's always been the job of the prophets. The message is simple. Repent. But how am I gonna teach that? That's us. We have to consider this. That alone, I think, elevates what we do here to immense heights. We have so much things we want to teach the students. We have so much things we want to teach the non-Christians. How? That has to be our question. Because the stuff we teach has to be taught. It's too important to teach badly. It's too important to just hope they get it. We have to make a performance piece as compelling as Ezekiel, as Hosea, as Amos, so that they might reject it, but they know for sure what they rejected. They know exactly what they're saying no to. That's the power of art. Okay. 2. That is not the right end. Art is worship. And I'm going to keep this part a little short, but you know, if you read Leviticus and Deuteronomy and all the instructions, right? This isn't, of course it teaches, but it is worship as well. It is worship in and of itself. The tabernacle and the temple grounds and the gold and the craftsmanship and the beauty and the grandeur and the glory of the things that we make directly represent God. That's just how it is, folks. Okay? If we make bad stuff, it is not only our name that gets laughed at. It is He who we represent. We have to take that seriously. I was in UCSD. Thank you for the excellent introduction. And always in my art classes, there was always, we used to call them like the Christian person. Okay, always brings in some sort of very obvious, some Bible reference or and I wouldn't have minded, right? Except, without exception, the art was bad. It was crappy. It was always not thought out, lame, boring, utterly uncompelling, and low-key, I knew that the rest of my class always laughed at the Christian. Okay? And it hurt, because they're not just laughing at the person, they're laughing at the person that person claims to represent. Okay? We have to strive for excellence in the art, because in this way, more than other ways, if we almost directly represent. Okay? I know our behavior, our character, and all these things reflect the glory of God. Yes, I'm not devaluing that. But when you are saying that I want to build a temple, right? I want to build this thing that like directly does, you know? Guys, we can't, it's got to be good. I'm just telling you. That's the state of Christian art. If I was going on a rant, it'd take way too long. But, I mean, I guess now we have chosen, so there's like one counterexample, maybe. But man, we're just not that good. We're just not that good. Which is bad, because the God we serve is good. Yeah? And lastly, and this is the one I want to kind of park the car in and just kind of chew on for a while, is art you notice it's important because it's multiple words, right? Art directs the passions. basically means art, in very simple terms, changes what people want. I'm gonna say that again because if you forget everything else in this talk, this is the one I hope brings home the weight of the stuff that we're trying to do here. Art actually straight up changes what people want. It changes what they love. It changes what they aspire to. That boggles the mind, hopefully. that should bring one to one's knees. That blows my mind every time I think about it. That we have this thing that we make that has the potential to not just change people's behavior, but change what drives them. That's nuts to me. That's crazy to me. I think of all the issues facing our world today, right? I mean, we have the gender thing, the LGBTQ thing, and I feel we have kind of missed the whole battlefield. We thought we could concede this part and win through legislation and law. I'm not saying those efforts are bad, but in my mind I was like, okay, even if we won, and even if we outlaw would we have changed a single person's heart? Isn't that what we're called to? Our battlefield is not of flesh and of blood and of these things that we can see. Our battlefield is of the heart. And the crucial thing that we're trying to fix is that people's hearts are not inclined towards God or the things of God. The greatest commandment we're trying to teach and to educate people on is not the 10 Commandments, actually, right? This is the greatest commandment. Who's going to say it?
Love.
The Lord
Love the
your
Lord your
God. Love the Lord your God. You know how we know this works? You know how we know that art directs the passions, that tells people what they want? How do we know this? Is it because David has a cool looking suit and just tells you? Okay. How do we know this?
The world does it all the time.
Not only does it, the world spends on this. It is quantifiable, actually. They know it is literally a formula. Per dollar spent, how many people change their behavior? It's this. It is this. It is exactly this. In some sense, and this was what frustrates me a lot, is that the world has such respect for the arts, and we do not. The world puts money where their mouth is. The world banks on the fact that these advertisements, these short films, these posters, these images that we make will literally change people to want our stuff. And it does. But we have something that the people need to want. We have something that the people need to follow after that will actually change. Because why? Directing the passion, if you change what people want, it will change their behavior. That's what these people are banking on. Especially if the behavior is spending money. But my friends, we have sometimes got this backwards. We want to change people's behavior in hopes that it change. It doesn't work that way. Buy our stuff and then you come to like it. It doesn't work that way, folks. We inspire you. We advertise to you. We make you want different things. The actions will follow. And the doubly frustrating thing is we invented this. The church invented this. Who bankrolled Mozart, Beethoven, Bach? Who built the Sistine? It's us. Why? Because at one point, the church believed that if people came in contact with art, that they would see that life is divine. That's why the church actually, for the longest time, considered what to be the pinnacle of art. Do you know? The highest form of art. This is art history, so you don't have to know. Only for nerds like me who made it. Human figure. The church history for the longest time that the human figure, the achievement of describing and painting and sculpting the human figure was the highest of art. Why? Because they thought that within the human figure there was something called the divine spark. That if you saw Rodin's Thinker or Michelangelo's David, you do not walk away saying, oh, we're mammals or we're just animals. You walk away thinking there is something in there that speaks of the eternal and the infinite. The church thought that if you walked into the cathedral and the grandeur of it all would tell you that there's something beyond your imagination in this life that you're to pursue. We invented this nonsense and we conceded it. Marketing, my friends, is not a secular field that the church is making inroads into. It is a battlefield that we lost and we're reclaiming. It is not that, oh, secular people in the 1950s with the rise of corporations invented art and advertising and we're like, we're catching up. No, we invented this nonsense. They took it. And I would love to see us get it back. Okay? Because that was the church's idea. That we don't use this term anymore, but they thought it would ennoble the soul, right? That when people saw great works of art, it would ennoble them. It would get them to like and seek after the stuff that only humans can seek after. What they thought was the base desires would recede, and what they thought was the spiritual desires would go up. And we don't have to go into the whole like, oh, and then Protestantism and then Reformation. Yes, okay? But simply put, I think us in the Protestant Reformation tradition have thrown out a lot of that. Because yeah, we abused it. In church history, there's a lot of abuse. But I think we threw out the baby with the bathwater, so to speak. Right? So, these are the three things that we're kind of called to do. And I feel like even just one makes me want to get up and work on this. Like, just the fact that art teaches in such a profound way. I don't know, every time I go up and try to teach, like, yeah, God, help me to do it artfully. You know? It's that, we can't not do this well, folks. Okay? We can't just tell kids to do things and hope that it somehow changes what they want. If we don't change what people want, we're done here. If we don't change what people fundamentally want in life, from this to the things they need to want, we're finished. There is no system, no program, no order of action that replaces the heart change. Now, don't get me wrong. The heart change is of the Lord. It is of the Holy Spirit. I'm not saying this changes that. But why do you think the Holy Spirit is always associated with this word called inspiration? Because that's what it does. Yeah, I could put inspiration here and it'd be very similar. Who inspires one of the greatest, not the one of the greatest work of literary art in the history of the human race, called the Bible? The Holy Spirit did, right? Who inspires the making of Psalms and the Holy Spirit does, right? Art inspires, yes. And we get to do it doubly so because we work with the Spirit whose job is to inspire people, aka the Holy Spirit. I could stay here longer, but I only have an hour. But have I sold that enough yet? Okay, it is really important what we do. You can just, that's the summary. It is really important. The stuff that we do, it is not, oh, let's make this PDF pretty, or let's make this Instagram post like poppy, or make it colorful. What we're doing literally changes people's hearts, literally changes what people want, and that changes people's actions. And that is the heart of what we're trying to do. Love the Lord your God. I don't want to, but I inspire you to. Now, how the heck does art do that? 2 ways, okay? Art can show through imagination a vision of what something isn't there. Okay? I can call it vision here. Okay? Art can show the unblemished, right? The ideal. And funny enough, even imagination can't get to really what is the ideal. We lost that in the fall, yes? But we get to present what doesn't exist. Does that make sense? So what people experience usually is the kind of broken, twisted, warped vision of nature, of God, of creation, right? Imagination allows us to present what it should be. Okay, I'm going to write should. And this vision, because it is what it should be, is what? It's compelling, friends. It is compelling. What the world should be, what life should be, what nature should be, what civilization should be, it's compelling, if done right. It's compelling. It is very, very compelling. This, in the corporate world, is used to sell cars. It pisses me off. Anyways, stop that. Okay. But yes, okay, this compelling is misused by the world. Very, very much. Okay? And actually, you see the rise of dystopian stuff. But this, like, what love should be, good Lord. I keep on thinking, like, legislation cannot out-legislate sin. They've been doing that since the Old Testament. It doesn't work. What we're supposed to do is show a compelling vision of the things we're born to love, that eclipses all our lesser loves. Sin is just the terrible way of loving things that should not be loved to that level. That's all it is. We have to show there's things that is worth dying for, that is worth living for. And we can do that here, right? That is one of the most powerful ways that art does this, okay? Second thing it does is it portrays reality, okay? Okay, so these are the two kind of ways by which this is, okay? So documentaries do this. Pieces of art that go, that's me, that does this, okay? It reflects what I am going through. And once you have that, whatever the art piece kind of tells you is you kind of accept as your own, okay? Again, don't have time to go too deep into this, but these are the two kind of levers of art, you can say. How art impacts the passions, it either presents a reality that is worth longing for, that is a compelling vision of life, or it shows you where you're at, and it empathizes, and it sympathizes with you. Another way you can say it is either it shows you what it should be, or it shows you Yeah. That's the reason why Shannon's the boss. Okay? Doesn't mean they have to be two different pieces, but that's in general the two giant levers of art. Everyone follow me so far? Cool? Okay, good. Because we're about to go. This is the overview.
Good.
Okay, so that being said, how are we gonna become better these people? Okay, we, by the way, surprise, we are in charge of doing this. Okay, how are we going to do this better? That's what I want to spend the rest of the time on. Okay? This is kind of the theoretical framework. Okay, how are we gonna make art, do art better, that teaches better, that worships better, and directs the passions better? And hopefully the why is in us. Y'all can meditate on this, and dude, if you run out of motivation, just meditate. We get to change people's hearts. Come on, y'all. Okay? So, we're gonna look at it through two lenses. Okay? First part is gonna be a fast rehashing of last year's stuff, so you can fall asleep if it's boring. Okay? So, we're gonna look at it from the art point of view, and we're gonna look at it from our point of view, or the creator's point of view. Okay? We call it the, I don't know, art as a subject, and art as maker, as in from our perspective. Okay? So art, the subject, the two forms that we divided it, just so it'd be easier in our mind, is the form/function divider. Okay? So there's a lot of words for this, okay? But basically, this is the form of the art. Okay? This is what you see. This is the pixels, right? This is the craft, if you will. Okay? The skill itself. Okay? The function is what the art's supposed to communicate, what it does. You could also do is that a message? Anyways, okay, this is a media message. I don't know if you heard that. Okay? Again, media message, form, function. There's lots of ways to illustrate this dichotomy, but we're just gonna run with that. Okay? So, how is success in art, okay, in us? I'm just gonna write it, and we can, argue about it afterwards. Okay? To make good art is when form and function agree with God and His reality. This is the success that I want to sell you guys today. The art is good. How is good art made? Is when the form and the function agree with God and His reality. Okay? Let's look at some of the negative examples and kind of build from there. Okay? So if we have good form, okay? Good form, but no function. Yeah? So your art looks fantastic. It is compelling. You can't scroll away. They rewatch the ad multiple times because it's just that good. Okay? But it has no function. Well, the function is very, very, very shallow. What do you call this?
Super Bowl commercial.
I'm gonna take that first word and say superficial. Yes, it is superficial. Okay, what is the dangers of this? Why should we not? Right, because we can do that. Like if we can take out discussion, we can just be a team that makes really compelling art. Right?
Yeah.
But why shouldn't we just make super compelling art? Because one is superficial. Thanks, boss.
Like as a consequence, you can become superficial people.
That's true, and that actually is. Man, you're gonna spoil it. We're gonna talk about this interaction, right? But a lot of the stuff, a lot of stuff we make is gonna be a reflection of what we do, and vice versa actually. Because art, if you think you're not influenced by your own art, you are delusional. Actually, and that's the worst. If you're making art that doesn't influence yourself, don't expect it to influence other people. Okay, so superficial. Think about it.
Leaves people empty.
Kind of. Go along that road a bit there.
It's in the end, unsatisfying, ineffective. That's all I got.
If it's supposed to direct people's passions, it's directing them to something that's not.
Right. It
Real.
desensitizes them. It actually makes them harder to reach the next time around.
Ooh,
This is actually one of
that hurts.
this. I mean, it's just, it sucks. Okay.
Yeah.
It desensitizes them. It stirs the heart, but like an engine revving on neutral, it just stirs. And we used to call it inoculation. Okay, where like we would present people with the gospel, and people would be like, "Ah, I saw that thing already. Ah, yeah, that thing with the little booklet. Yeah, okay." It desensitizes them, which is super tough. Okay, and the sad thing is that the world does this more and more, which is one of the reasons why we gotta be good at this. So we have to be ahead of the desensitization curve, right? But yes, it eventually makes people unable to be inspired by anything. We'll work ways around that. Okay. Lastly, I guess. I'm just gonna give you this one just because it's. Sorry about my terrible handwriting. Fantasy / detached from reality. Okay? It does not speak to the human condition. Living in fantasy land is not happiness. Okay? Living in anime land is not happiness. And now I personally choose escape by well-made animes from time to time. I'm not saying it's a crime. However, we cannot make things that help people escape from their current life. Our job is not to provide an escape. And it's very popular. It's very profitable to provide escape. This is a very big temptation. But we have to resist that temptation because we do not want our stuff to be a distraction from reality. We want it to be a reality influencing art. Cool? Let's jump here. If you have no form, but yes function. So the message is correct. It is, theologically sound. It is based on reality. It is based on, it agrees with God and His reality, okay? But your form sucks. What happens? Yay! I'm gonna put uncompelling here. There's a word for this actually that I'm gonna present to you that kind of encapsulates this. But keep going. The message is sound, but the delivery is bad.
Cheesy.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, but yeah, keep on going. There's a word I'm looking for. It starts with C. Keep on going. It's not cheesy. I just realized cheesy always starts with Mapi, the other C.
Cliche.
Yay! This is the worst enemy of this. Why? Because cliche actually devalues itself. It doesn't seem true, even though it is, because it's a cliche. If you write in the bathroom stall, God loves you, I mean, is it true? Of course it is. Of course it's true. But it is made fun of, actually. And the reality of the fact that God loves you is more detached from their reality because, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was gonna say it even if it has good function, the lack of form means that the function doesn't work anyway.
Yeah, it actually reduces the function if that makes sense. Okay. Which is why obviously corporations focus on this side more than this side. Because if you don't got this, you don't got nothing, my friends. Yes. Cliche. Second is,
It's like so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
You know.
I know. I wish to be more happy when I'm
And
giving
at
this
the
talk.
same time, like, I look around this table and go, you guys got it. Like, Let's go, let's turn it loose, this is exciting.
Isn't it? The comparison here is propaganda. Okay? It's compelling, but it's false. It's compelling, but it's manipulative. It's compelling, but it's for your own ends. It's for you to make money or to make followers or to make, whatever, right? But here is cliche. We have to avoid both. These are the two dangers thereof. The fun part and the happy part is that actually deep form produces function and deep function produces form. They are not interdependent. What people kind of is irony is that even corporations, they hit a hard wall here. Well, mainly because of this. You can't infinitely shock, okay? You can't infinitely have shock value, okay? Deep form actually comes from a deep understanding of its function. This eventually hits a dead end. For those who are bankrupt here, this is limited. And, fun fact, for those who are bankrupt in form, this is limited. Okay. We think, oh, we can get message, we can get deeper. Yes, but if you never really grasp the form by which God is communicating that to you, you have a shallowness here. Okay? That's why I said they both have to agree. Okay? So, David's a little, man, I'm running out of space, huh? So how do you improve this side and bring it together, right? So how do you improve here? This is kind of bad, so this is the bad times, okay? So we finish the bad times. So how do we improve? And the idea is we have to improve both and then get them to synergize, right? So how do we improve form? How do we improve form? How do we
Practice. A lot.
Okay, yes.
Keep going.
But what? Like, am I just gonna stick you like MS Paint and say like go for it? Yes. Here it pretend I'm gonna copy this board here, okay? Because I'm running out of space and I have a bad guy. Okay. So
Go the other way.
should we go this way?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a terrible thing. I know. It's a terrible thing.
It's okay, we're tracking.
I just need 2 columns, alright? I just need 2 columns. Okay, this is very narrow. Let's pretend there's 1 column.
It's getting better.
We work on it.
This
Okay,
is such
so
good
what?
form.
1, okay,
Form.
is, but I'm gonna improve on this, okay? Repetition makes things permanent, not better, okay? So from this has to come actually, you have to copy first. You have to copy first, okay? If you come up to me when I was in film school and you're like, bro, I haven't watched any of the greats, but I'm gonna just like, I'm a genius. I'm like, my friend, what do you need? What character do you need that you're missing here? I'm gonna star this actually, because without this, there's no improvement in this picture.
Humility.
His hand is on the rope.
Oh gosh.
Okay, without humility, form does not grow. Okay, and I know in this information age, it just seems that we can. Well, I just Google how to do it. Okay, and I know it works, but without humility, your form does not grow. There's a reason why the greats are the greats. Okay, I'm not saying you gotta start filming in black and white, or you gotta, start cranking your 38mm or something. Okay, but you have to be humble enough to copy and repeat what you have copied. There just is no way. Funny thing is, people are always trying to be the next thing here. New for newness sake, right? Oh, I want to stand out, right? And the temptation here is you think you will stand out by not doing this, by coming from a complete different angle. You stand out as someone, no. You stand out by doing this until the thing you copy becomes new. It's hard to explain. It's kind of like cooking. Okay, if you came and you tell me you have never, cooked Korean 된장찌개, okay, but you're a great cook and you could revolutionize the Korean, I'd be like, no, fool. Okay, this is the recipe. This is my
Right.
mom's. It freaking kicks butt. Shut up and follow it. Okay, but do you know? On the 30th, 40th, 50th time you follow that recipe, you start to understand how it functions. And unconsciously, you start improving upon it. And when you look back, you have broken the mold. That's how you do this. You don't go, what if you add sriracha into 된장찌개? It's gonna be great, right? It tastes different, yes, but difference is not better. Okay? That's shallowness. We're just throwing more colors. We're throwing more effects. We'll make it strobe more. Okay? That's literally throwing sriracha into the soup. Yes, it's different. Yes, people go, oh, that's interesting. But it's not better. It doesn't have a lasting appeal. You have to take this process. You break this mold not by being different, but by being the same in a very interesting way. Okay? That's why it just takes humility. It just does. There's a note here that I wrote. Copy the world's form, but not its message. They have invested a very, 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 very long time into getting form down. Honestly, I admit this. Okay, copy the form. Repeat it until you make it your own, and make it better. Don't copy their message. Don't copy the superficialness, but definitely copy their form. This is how you get better here. Okay. Now I have space here. How do you get better here? In function. How do you make the message more aligned with God and His reality? How do you make it more real? Laid back time.
I mean, like, my first thought was like, you don't.
You don't.
But like,
We give up.
Right.
Go home, everybody. We're done.
But
Uh-huh.
I mean, I feel like that can't be the answer.
Okay.
But
We
like,
cannot improve here. So, no, we can improve.
Yeah.
My thought is that it's somewhat similar, like you have to understand the message until it becomes personal, becomes internalized.
Let's do a fun little. Has anyone? Phoebe, it might be boring for Phoebe. Has anyone eaten ramen here before? Okay. Yes. Yes. Oh yeah. You just want to speak of ramen. Okay. So pretend for a second, because ramen is an art form. Okay, and cooking is an art form. The function, okay, and the form. We will call function the taste of the ramen, shall we say? Okay. What would we call the form? Presentation. Okay. So, how do you improve at making ramen? One way is, right? Brother, stop trying to put sriracha in the ramen. Just copy the dang recipe and do it again and again and again until people, and actually I'm alright. Okay. Here it is actually super objective. Other people will tell you when you're doing this right. Okay? Christians and non-Christians are like, when you make good form, they tell you. This is not not subjective. Okay? That's why I want you to copy it, because if it was subjective, why would you be copying it, right? But over here on this side, I would actually say the form is ramen, is the taste here. The function, and they get better than when you become an art maker. This is the interior decoration. This is the presentation. This is the bowl it comes out in. Okay? Imagine your ideal ramen shop. Okay, let's say we have this now. Okay? And you have in your hands the best bowl. Okay, it's best stock, best noodles, whatever, right? But now I want you to shift your mind from being ramen makers into interior designers. We have to design this shop. And it's gonna be the best darn ramen shop to ever exist. Describe it to me. Okay, fine. Describe to me the door, for instance. Describe to me the door. Is there a door? Is there no door?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a door.
See a lot of dark woods.
Dark woods.
Maybe
Character,
Okay, like what kind of?
like, it looks like it's been there for a long time.
Okay, so you
But
want.
not in like a, not in
it's
like
clean.
a dingy way.
Oh, I see. Yeah, like kind of like aged wood type of.
Yeah, like we're not
Yeah.
talking about some like clear like modern
Plastic.
door. It's
No,
like
no.
there's
Mhm.
like something special that
Right.
says like
This
yeah.
it kind of echoes a bit of the kind of long history of ramen. You want it a little bit of old aged. Got it.
There's only a few options.
There's a few options. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How's the menu?
Small.
How is the menu? How does the menu look like?
Beautiful.
Describe to me the beautiful.
There's illustrations.
Illustrations. It's
Yeah,
thick.
not pictures,
No pic-
illustrations.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Good.
Feels
Okay.
very like homey.
Yeah,
like,
and
like,
kind of minimalist.
Good.
Mhm.
Counter space.
Clean.
Clean.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Yeah. Well, I
There's
mean,
some-
yeah, not over cluttered.
Yeah, not. But then there are toppings and like
Mhm.
different things you can use.
I keep on going through ramen. So pretend the ramen is set, okay? This is all just in the interior decoration. Okay. Does the chopsticks have holders? What color are the chopsticks?
Oh my gosh.
Black.
Dark.
But you see where I'm going at? I mean, we haven't begun to
They're,
discuss.
like, nice, not like the throwaway.
Yes,
chopsticks.
yes.
Nice.
Mhm.
How's the bowl look?
Really cute.
Ooh, like
Cute.
painted.
Painted.
Yeah, porcelain.
Porcelain.
Maybe a print.
I'd
Maybe
do a
two
ramen
colors.
Now-
The inside outside.
Fun times, right? Yes. Now here's the question. How do you get better at designing ramen shops?
Experience.
So where would you go?
To the source.
Which is
Mm-hmm.
it is fundamentally what is here? Repetition. What is here? You're nailing it today, sir. This is one of the reasons why development is hard, okay? Because these two developments have completely different skill sets, completely different disciplines. Here is humility and repetition and copying. Okay? You sit in the same kitchen with the same ingredients and you make that ramen over and over and over again, though you get a deeper, intimate knowledge of how that works. If you design the same shop 30 times, you're not gonna become a better interior designer. Where do you need to go? To Japan. And see 50 shops. See 60 shops.
Learning.
Yes, see all the bowls. I didn't know you can use that kind of bowl. That's actually kind of, okay, well that sucks. But I can see what they were going with, okay? That's, you know that wood thing they have going on? That's sick. Yoink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The what, you have to explore. You nailed it, okay? You do not design the same shop 50 times. You go to 50 different shops, but you make the same ramen 50 times, okay? Now, sorry, we're moving away from ramen and back into RNHA. I'm so sorry. Okay? So here, you hear the same message 50 different ways. Does that make sense? 50 different ways. How do you increase this here? Here, first of all, hear from different people, hear from different cultures. Same gospel. You think there was only one way to say it? No, my friends, no. Okay. Hear it from different people, hear it to different audiences. How does it speak to the poor, to the rich, to the marginalized, to the non-marginalized? Go to a different church. Heck, you don't need that. You go open YouTube and see a different preacher. Not for your Sunday service, not for your devotion, but just for this. We are not the first people to try to inspire people to love God. Okay? Explore, friends. And I really like the, someone said go to the source, right? Meditation. And maybe this is a more obvious answer. Okay, but the danger of doing this without this is huge. Meditation without exploration is an echo chamber. You don't get depth from that. Okay? You get rigidity, actually. Okay? You kind of self-reinforce the fact that you know how to say the gospel, basically. This has to be but you could explore mindlessly, you know what I'm saying? Okay? So you have to mindfully explore, if that makes sense. Okay? And you have to put different emphasis in your head. I'm gonna just put a list of things that will help you. Okay? Nature. Oh my goodness. Okay?
Yeah.
Nature. I'm gonna like star this. You know what interior designers do that craftsmen do not? Craftsmen do not sit around and say, "This is how I make my ramen." I know how you make your ramen. Okay? But interior designers have huge conferences called design conferences and conventions. Why do they do that? Because they want to make money. And two, because there's inspiration to be found in each other. I really like your launch days. And I really like the fact that you guys will have discussion times in between. There's inspiration to be found as you talk as a team to each other. Okay? Not maybe on this, okay? Like, I inspiration struck. What if we change the camera angle 15 degrees? No, that's not, this is not inspiration. Okay, leave this to the. But here, what if you say that part like this? You know, I've been thinking. This part really strikes me. Huh? You know, You know what I'm saying? And it goes. But nature's really good too. Okay, so you kind of humble, repeat, copy, repeat. Trust me, other people will tell you when you're doing a good job. If other people are not telling you you're doing a good job, repeat. Okay? Here, explore. Go outside your comfort zone. Go attend the Baptist church. Go attend the Pentecostal church. Don't do cults, but go attend somewhere else where the gospel is preached differently. Explore. You don't have. You go to ramen shop, okay, I've learned what not to do. Good, that's fine, okay? But yeah, my ramen shop will not look like this. Great. Explore. Cool? Okay, I'm completely running out of time. So another way to look at it is from us, art maker, okay? So this is looking at the art, and we divide it into two, yeah? We divided the art into form and function. Here, we divide us into artisan and artist. These two have developed differently. Okay? Artisan is craft. Artist is art. There's gotta have a bunch of crossovers, okay? But it's a little different. Again, how do artisans develop? Yes.
Repetition.
Yeah, but add one more, or you're gonna make ramen at home by yourself for 20 years and then become a ramen master. What's missing?
You need input from other people.
The two things that this brings us: one, yes, if you don't ever give it to people and then tell them this is disgusting, you won't know. Okay, you need to put your work up for
Review.
yes. This is neglected so many times. So many times. And this is sometimes, because it sucks. Okay, I get it. You know, low key, when I was in film school, I was too poor so I couldn't drink, but none of my classmates were sober in what we call our group project days. Okay? Because it sucks. You're putting your soul out there, right? And you have 29 kids going like, mediocre at best. It hurts you. It does. Okay, that's why half of us were drunk, because we just couldn't be there. But if you don't do this, you don't get good. I'm just so sorry. You don't get good. Okay. If you want to be someone who's not in your team but mean, you can call me, and I just behave, man. I do the Sanders thing. I love you, sucks, but I love you. Okay, I do that. Okay, but you got to do this. Okay. Second one, and we're missing. Okay. Second. Think of the ramen. So you keep on making ramen and everyone tells you it sucks. Like, what do you need? More repetition.
Iteration.
Yes, I know. We did repetition, but
Collaboration.
kind of.
Supervision, or like peer review?
Yes, but where does that revision come from? So let's say this tells you that you gotta work on something, right?
Fixing it.
I don't got time. You need a master. Okay, you need a master. If you think you're gonna master ramen at home without someone, we are very prideful. Okay. Now, this master can be very different things. Okay, this is one of the reasons why. I mean, my film is film, so I keep on referencing film. You don't have to do that, right? But there's certain photographers, for instance, or certain artists, or certain designers whose work speaks to you. Okay, because you don't have to meet with them because they'd be too expensive. But that's your template. That's your master. That's the stuff you're gonna repetition and copy. Okay, that's the look or the feel that you're going for. That's the calligraphy. That's the typeset. That's the thing you're going for. This is you have to consciously pick this. Okay? This is a very important decision. Okay? Many times, okay, I know people make portfolios of their work. There's a very fun project if you want to do. Make a portfolio of your master. Okay, it's called a copy portfolio. Go and steal all the pieces that you wish you made. Straight up. And make what do you call a copy portfolio. The films you wish you made, the ads you wish you made, the houses you wish you designed, the ads you wish you came up with. You got to pick a good master. And this has to be conscious. Okay? And you don't have to pick name brand, okay? I hate Macintosh. I think, just as a nerd, I just think they have terrible business practices, da 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 da. But a lot of my copy portfolio is they're so gosh darn good at the stuff that they do. Far be for me to ever copy their methods, but man, I have a lot to learn from them. Their recruitment, their entire strat, right? They never sell you their computer saying our computer is better, because it's not. Okay? What do they sell you? What's their whole shtick?
Be you, be creative, be different.
You are different. We are different. We are for you. You buy our stuff, you're different. It's genius. Oh my God, I wish I came up with that stuff. It's genius. It's so simple. If you're athletic, if you honor great athletes, Nike. Freaking clever. Okay? Copy it. Copy it. Do we not want our people to be different? Do we not want our student leaders to be different than the crowd? And don't we want them to be proud of the fact that they're different? Proud of the fact that they're living for something else that no one else can even begin to understand, much less applaud? We're with you. We're for you. Mac is so gosh darn good. So buy our stuff. But for us, that buy our stuff is different, right? Because we actually have a message. How do we get better at art? And now we covered exploration, right? What else? This is kind of, I know it's a very different, how does one become better at art? It's like something you ask like your freshman class to like make fun of them, I know. But just, I'm not trying to make fun of you, so. Let's pretend you wanted to be better at art. And you do want to be. And I am kind of skipping, this is not the craftiness of it, right? Yes, so for you to know how to do art, how to do your craft, how to paint, design, yes, it's here. But how do you become a better artist? Has anyone, what do great artists do? That makes them so different?
Form and function.
On this side especially. Are they, like, just think of artists. Are they just a different breed? The genes a little different. God gave them a little extra sauce. And so we can't ever be like them.
I just keep like constant exploration. Like it's just like part of.
There's a word for it.
Yeah.
There's a word for it.
I don't know what word you would. I believe you though.
Experimentation.
Close, very close. Every great artist has a
Habit.
They have a habit. They always do. Okay. You could even get a book that lists the habits of great artists. There is no artist without a habit. Okay. Now I know, David, you're crossing the lines. No, that's not the kind of habit I'm talking about. Okay. They have a habit of exploration, a habit of meditation, a habit of going to some place, and it could very look like repetition, but they're not making something the same every single time. Okay. They have a habit. It's like this. Your brain, nothing new can come out unless you're putting something new in. Okay? You have to have a habit of putting new stuff in your brain. And now what kind of stuff? What kind of stuff goes into your brain?
So is it like a habit of consumption? That's
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but curated consumption.
Yeah.
Curated consumption. Now let's look at some of these things. What do I want you to build a habit of consuming? I consume this to copy,
Right.
okay? But that's different.
Things with meaning. Like, I mean, God's word.
Good. I'm not gonna write that because yes. I just give you one and we keep on going, okay? Do not ignore the classics. Do not ignore the works of art that stood the test of time. Okay? Watch black and white films. Go to an art museum and watch paintings. Good Lord. Go. It's dirt cheap these days. Go and walk and look at Impressionist paintings from the French, from the 1700s to 1800s. You think there is so much spiritual weight and matter there? I wrote a paper on that actually. But yes, go listen to an orchestra. Not your cheap, La Mirada orchestra. Go to the LA Philharmonic. Spurge a little. Go to a jazz band that actually knows what they're doing. Okay? Do not ignore the classics. They're classics for a reason. Okay? Read Dante's Inferno. Read Moby Dick. I kid you not. Like, it seems like it's farthest away from development, but it is. Is it a lot of hard work? It is. This ain't easy. It's not. Great people of the past have made works of art that to this day do these three things. Put money and see them and be inspired by them. Classics, what else? I'm gonna put and because it's exploration, right? A photographer does not look at photography all day long. Okay, that's not how that works. Of different disciplines. Sorry, it's terrible handwriting. Okay.
That was like cliff.
Yeah. Of different cliffs. Okay. Different disciplines. Literature,
classic.
music, dance.
Yeah.
Go watch a musical. Go watch an opera. Opera, do it. You'll be pleasantly surprised. Okay. Different disciplines, and then.
I mean, I would say like what's happening now, like
Uh-huh.
how things have come since the classics.
Kind of. So I'll.
Like different cultures? Like they're
That's good. I would keep that here. Different cultures. Actually, you probably won't get this, so I'll just give it to you. Okay.
Thanks.
There has to be a habit of consumption, and then a habit of.
Creating.
No.
Okay.
What is this? What is this?
Collaboration.
All artists do this.
Retreat.
They retreat. Okay. You have to desensitize before you are sensitized again. Okay. This. Where is this? This will happen. Now, if you watch bad stuff, this will happen faster, but it happens. you have to get away and turn down the lights so you can see the colors for what they are. This habit of consumption, I'm not saying, yeah. Can you imagine? Yeah, so David, did the talks. I booked, 3 orchestras and 2 symphonies in 2 weeks. I'm just gonna be mad inspired. That's not how that works. Okay? You have to be disciplined in your consumption, and you have to be disciplined in your non-consumption. Okay? You have to give yourself space to okay, that was good, and sit. Does that make sense? So people call it a retreat, but it doesn't have to be. You have to go to the mountains. Okay? Especially be wary here of. Not because I hate digital media, that's literally our field, but because digital media, above all else, does this fastest. Okay? Take a day out with nothing.
So can we just map those habits back to our experience?
Yes. So
Exploration, meditation.
you see how the overlap happens?
Yeah.
And because I'm out of time, I end with this. Okay? The temptation thereof, okay? So because it's a lot of work, right? It is a lot of work. There is a temptation, and there's the last 2 things. There's a temptation to take shortcuts. Okay? How do you take a shortcut here? It's called the temptation to shortcut here. What we call shock value. Okay? Just be different. Just put sriracha sauce. Just, I call it fusion food and just put gochujang in it. Okay? I keep on going back to the food thing. Okay? You're not getting better as a chef. Okay? Because you picked a random spice from another country and you stuck it in, and it doesn't make you creative. Okay? You simply are too lazy. And you don't want to work at your craft until development happens naturally, so you are artificially doing it by taking shock value. Okay? This happens in film a lot. Instead of going deeply and going just make it brighter. Put more strobe lights on. Okay? But just make the camera super low or super high. It's just when you are not considering the craft, but you're just doing what makes things flashy, what makes things attention grabbing, just for the sake of that, you're shortcutting this. It will become attention grabbing, I guarantee you, if you persist in these disciplines. Okay? Don't shortchange yourself by just pursuing shock value. Okay? Because this does not last. You cannot shock value people to infinity. Okay? What's the temptation here? To shortcut yourself to as an artist. There's a biblical temptation. Find people that will tell you what your itching ears want to hear. What is this? What's the temptation here? Yeah, that's exactly one. Find people who like your art and stay there. Okay? Don't show your art to people who don't like you. Okay? Just sit and show it to only Robert, who's too nice, and he just, I did tell you the hardest thing is submitting your art for review, right? The shortcut is don't. It's good enough, right? It's good enough. It's nice enough. On the feed is not gonna come down on hard because the color's a little off. You're gonna say it's good enough. Ship it. But you're not developing. Okay. So I know this was a super duper long talk, and I think I went over time, so I apologize. But the hard